Opening day has come, and the Suns are back in Hagerstown. Jim Miller, what are your thoughts on baseball this year?
My thoughts are the Suns are back in Hagerstown, and I'll tell you what, I'm glad of that, and I hope we find a way to get them to stay in Hagerstown. Interestingly, it wasn't until last year that I started attending games at the Suns with any regularity. It was fun, Carl, and I know you're not a baseball guy, and I'm frankly not that much of a baseball guy.
I love baseball.
Okay. Okay. The fact of the matter is, it's a fun night with the family, and it's cheap entertainment, and it's enjoyable.
Especially Thirsty Thursdays.
Especially Thursday.
And you get to watch the fireworks some parts of the year.
It's something else to do.
But
good time for the family.
The reality is, we have it's been a very successful team.
Right.
It's been here. A lot of years now. What is this, 36?
36 years. We had
36
Boo
years.
Powell, one of the most famous, I think it was called another team one time that moved up to the major leagues.
Right.
So what do we need to do to make sure we keep them here?
Well, we need to probably build a new stadium
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's true. But I mean, if you listen to the politicians say that it's the owner's fault, and I'm betting the owner says it's the politicians' fault. The truth is probably, like in many
50-50.
cases, somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
But the reality is, somebody's got to get off the mark and do something, or we're going to lose. In my estimation, a valuable resource.
If we lose baseball in
Hagerstown.
Hagerstown, it would never come back.
No, well,
I agree. I absolutely agree.
It couldn't. I mean, there's major league rules right now. We're not that 50 miles as the crow flies or whatever from the Frederick Keys. I don't know how that happened, but if we lose an affiliated team,
We'll never get another
we'll
one.
never get it back.
no,
Yeah.
won't happen.
And the Hagerstown Suns baseball stadium doesn't comply with Major League Baseball standards. So we're
Right.
going to have to build a stadium to keep the Suns.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I heard at the debate, and I was interested because Bob Brucci didn't really comment on this at the League of Women Voters debate. Several of the candidates were saying, "Well, let's just upgrade Municipal Stadium." Well, I don't think you can do that.
Municipal Stadium is probably too old to continue just upgrading. It's like putting a Band-Aid on top of a Band-Aid on top of a Band-Aid.
Right.
Eventually, you're going to have to pull that Band-Aid off. You're going to have a little bit of pain, but you're going to have to do something in order to do a permanent fix.
Well, how do the dollars work out? I mean, are the dollars there to make it worthwhile building a new stadium?
Well, according to there was a significant study done, and the study, even in the most conservative read of the numbers, made sense. Now, not when you just looked at baseball, but as you look at a multi-use facility that's used for more than just baseball, the numbers made sense.
Right.
The other thing that bugs me is the fact that they say, well, we can't afford, it's going to be $30 million, and it probably is. Not arguing that point at all. But here's the other thing. I mean, we know that originally this hotel-motel tax, that 50% of it now goes to this. Well, there's a distribution between the CVB and some other things.
Right.
The point is that was originally developed as an economic stimulus, specifically related to the building or the improvement of a baseball stadium in Washington County. That's not what that money's been used for.
Nope.
So how do we get that back?
And it's really important to look at the economic stimulus aspect of a stadium too, because for example, look at Camden Yards down in Baltimore. Okay, it is in the middle of an area that there are people walking to that stadium for miles. Okay, now if we have a stadium in downtown Hagerstown, we're going to end up having a lot of foot traffic in downtown Hagerstown, providing a lot of patrons for shops and restaurants in downtown Hagerstown. All right, that has a potential to really help out businesses in the downtown area.
And Brucci, one of the things that Brucci used to talk about is, if you have a pie, you can only cut that pie into so many slices. And his point is, bringing baseball back into Hagerstown, specifically into downtown, is going to increase the size of the pie. So now you have more pie to go around, rather than just, if you have 10 restaurants in town, then you have 10 pieces of the pie and it's divided up in whatever slivers. If you increase the size of the pie, if you increase the foot traffic downtown, the downtown merchants. And again, looking at some of the other stuff that's going on downtown, like the pop-up shops and all of that, wouldn't it be cool if you could have those pop-up shops at when they're having major homestands for the
Right.
Suns?
Exactly.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Will be cool.
So where does the opposition to a stadium come from? What portion of our population opposes this building of a new stadium?
Well, it was definitely an issue in the last election.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But, but I think
Is the
a
business
lot.
community opposing it, favoring it, or?
I think it was mostly just a lot of residents that probably live in downtown
And
who are
I
concerned
think,
about the
I
traffic.
think, frankly, I think Mayor Geisberts has had an epiphany on this. I don't think,
I
'cause
think
he was
he's
in
not the only
opposition
one.
of it.
I think a lot of residents have as well.
He was, I think, in opposition of it originally, and that was, a campaign element for him against Bob Brucci in the last election. I think the mayor has had, I don't agree with all of his positions on it, but I think he's had an epiphany on it, and I think he sees that there is value in it.
Well, we can certainly all learn from recent history.
Yeah, yeah, and I used to be against it too, but over time I have really seen the value in putting a stadium downtown.
The reality is that it's one of those things that you really need to understand before you can be a for or against it. Because I was exactly
Right.
where you are. I remember
Yep.
sitting in a Kiwanis meeting 3 or 4 times and somebody coming in and talking about the benefit of a stadium. I'm thinking, oh, they're crazy. There's no way that's going
Right.
to do anything for Hagerstown. And then you read that report and you say, wow,
Well, we've had
these numbers could be real.
Cal Ripken report. He
Right.
did that.
Right, not Cal Ripken, but
Yeah.
Ripken.
Yeah, it was. I think it was
Cal
Ripken's.
Yeah, he has a business.
It
that
wasn't
does
actually
that.
him, but it was
Right,
his
his.
business.
We've had a lot of
Yeah.
epiphanies then.
We have.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, and on that note, up next, it's Fast Five. 4 panelists, 5 topics, and 6 minutes. Stay with us here on the Flipside.